What actually happens when you drown? Let's begin with the physiological process of immersion in water until your death. Here is an example. Betty and her friends have spent the day drinking and sunbathing. Betty has only had beer and a couple slices of pizza. Betty is a poor swimmer, but to beat the heat, she decides to hit the river and join her group to cool down. She swallows her last few gulps of beer, tosses the bottle, as her friends, already in the river, are yelling for her to hurry up. Once in the water, the group challenges one another to race to the other side of the river, where a group of young men are located. The distance is about 150 meters or so. Betty swims toward her friends. They have already begun the race. About 100 feet from shore, Betty begins to tire, the lactic acid building quickly in her muscles. But losing to her friends is not something she wishes to experience, so she pushes on. 200 feet from shore, she is tiring more. She looks back toward the departure shore. She is almost one half of the way across. Her friends are leading by about 50 feet. She treads water briefly, then realizes she is closer to her friends than the shore left behind. She moves on, expending more energy to stay afloat and less energy to advance to the opposite shoreline. At 250 feet, she is at a point of no return, the center of the river. Her friends are now far ahead, and her mind is only thinking of how tired her arms and legs have become. All energy is focused on keeping herself on the water's surface. Her breathing becomes more labored and in shorter breaths, rapidly gasping. A small amount of water enters her mouth, and she coughs. Yelling for help is impossible due to all focus now on staying above water and breathing. She takes a vertical up and down position and flounders for mere seconds. More water enters her throat, and she begins to cough violently. Between coughs, she struggles to keep her head above the surface. Sinking slowly at first, she loses her ability to hold her breath and fight to remain on the surface, and an increasing CO2 buildup forces her diaphragm to contract without control. A deep inflow of water follows. Her lungs are now nearly empty of air, and she has lost 10 to 15 pounds of buoyancy. She sinks faster. The water now in her lungs allows the CO2 in her blood to leave quickly through the alveolar bed. Her burning desire to breathe is now satisfied, but the blood returning from her lungs to her heart has drastically changed its chemistry. Her heart will not continue to function for too much longer. As her want to breathe seems to come under control, drowning loses its nightmare, and calm begins to take hold. She sinks faster, not realizing that she is losing all voluntary control. In this confused state of mind, she may not feel a sinus or eardrum hemorrhage, and she may not even feel her feet touch the bottom of the deep river 50 feet below. Her consciousness leaves. She instinctively grasps at the rocky, pebble-strewn bottom and sparse vegetation. In her final moments, instinct takes control, and she breathes deeply and forcefully. Her breathing continues for a short period of time, and large quantities of water and silt enter her lungs. In a confused state of actions and reactions, she vomits, then inhales some of her own stomach contents. Due to the strong breathing reflexes, water and debris may be drawn into her stomach and lungs. The forceful inspiration of water may tear many of the small alveoli deep into her lungs, allowing river water to enter directly into her bloodstream while her heart is still beating. At the last moment, this forceful inspiration of water will admit a small quantity of blood deep in the lungs. Her last breath has been taken. It is over. Betty now lies at the bottom, moved by the weak current only 4 meters from where she left the surface moments before. The friends turn only to find she is not to be found. Bystanders have not seen her.